You're listening to School Counseling Simplified, a podcast with easy-to-implement strategies for busy school counselors. Here's your host, Rachel Davis from Bright Futures Counseling.
Let's play a little game of Would You Rather, School Counselor Edition. Okay, would you rather spend your weekend planning a group or spend your afternoon sitting in irrelevant PD? Yikes. Or would you rather be the only counselor with no one to collaborate with, or to spend hours searching online for engaging activities? All of these options are pretty bad, right? But unfortunately, they're all too real. But what if I told you I had a solution for you? What if I told you I had access to hundreds of school counseling lessons, groups, and activities, counselor-specific trainings on the topics you need most, and a community of like-minded school counselors to support you? You would say, yes, please. Well, that is what Impact is all about. Impact is my monthly membership for school counselors, and it helps you with all of these things. You get access to hundreds of resources. That's unlimited free downloads. Log in and get what you need right away to every single resource that's in my store. We add new resources each and every month. We're adding a new middle school and elementary resource each month, and some of these are bonus Impact exclusives, meaning that you can get resources just for members. You can request resources that you need and easily search so you can find exactly what you're looking for. And let's talk about the trainings, counselor-specific trainings on the topics you need most. We do these each and every month as part of our Coffee with the Counselor series. Impact members get to join for absolutely free. You earn PD certificates and you get exclusive access to members-only things like the Ultimate Small Group Experience and our Summer Summit Conference. And the community. Y'all, this is possibly my favorite part of Impact. I so look forward to jumping on these calls, to getting to know counselors who are similar to me and also completely different. It's so fun to hear from your experiences and your challenges, and everyone brings a unique perspective to the table. We have an exclusive online community, and we even have a cool app where you can chat with other counselors in these community circles. We have our monthly calls, like I mentioned, twice a month, and we share wins, troubleshoot tough cases, and just talk about what it's like to be a counselor, because so often we're on our own island at our school sites. So if any of that sounds like it's for you, I would love to see you inside Impact. Go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/impact to solve all of your counselor problems. And I have a special offer for my listeners. Use code POD at checkout to save 10% off your first month. Okay, let's go to today's episode. Hey there, thanks for listening to another episode of School Counseling Simplified. So in today's episode, I want to share with you 4 ways that you can build rapport and support teachers. Now, I love working with teachers. I feel like a lot of counselors maybe don't know how to approach this, especially if you're a new counselor coming into a school of like a lot of veteran teachers. That has been me before. But it's so great when we can work together as a team, and that's how the students benefit most. So let me give you 4 ideas to get you inspired. Do you ever wish someone would tell you what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to be doing it, and how you're supposed to be doing it? Well, I've got you covered with school counseling lesson plans for the entire school year. And the best part, they're absolutely free. Go to bit.ly/counseling lesson plans to download yours today. I hope you find these super helpful and you're going to have your best year yet. First up, do a needs assessment. Now, at this point in the school year, if you haven't done a needs assessment yet, I totally encourage you to do one. I'll link to one in the show notes that you can try out, a customizable template you can use. But basically, ask the teachers what they need. Ask them where they're struggling in their classrooms. What are they seeing behavior problems with? What do their students need? What kind of groups would they like to see? What kind of class lessons would they like to see? The more info, the better. It's always nice to leave a little open-ended area on there too, just to get some general feedback about what they want the counselor-teacher relationship to look like. Now, if you're like, oh gosh, I haven't done one yet, no worries. I always recommend these at the beginning of the year, but it's also kind of nice to do it once things have got rolling as well, because sometimes the teachers don't know the needs until they present themselves, or things might have changed since the start of the year. So, step 1, needs assessment. Number 2, offer as needed lessons. Now, I talk about this all the time. This was something that was kind of born of necessity for me, but I've used it. I'll share 3 examples of how I've used an as needed lesson. And this is a supplemental counseling lesson that I offered in addition to the Tier 1 lesson I had planned that everyone got. So for example, one was when I was working at the international school, There were some third graders. Their teacher said they were having problems at recess playing soccer. There were some fights happening and stuff. So we decided to do a sportsmanship lesson. Now, this was supplemental. She was already getting the class lesson that all the third graders were getting, which was on, I don't even remember, like friendship or social skills or something. But I came in and did an extra lesson on sportsmanship for that class. Same thing with high school. We had some middle school and high schoolers who were vaping in the bathroom. So we did a vaping lesson. For that one, I collaborated with the health teacher. And that was, again, I came into health class and we did that one together, which was supplemental to the Tier 1 instruction that we're getting. And the final example is the first time it had happened was in California when I was working at elementary school. The fourth graders were doing like some unsafe online behavior. And so it was happening outside of school, but the teachers were concerned. So they wanted me to do like a cyber safety lesson. So I did that as a supplement just for that class because the other fourth grade class didn't need it, but that one class did. Now, the teachers loved this option, and it's something that a lot of teachers may not even know that you're willing to do. But if you can squeeze it in your schedule, it's so helpful. And if you cannot squeeze it into your schedule, you can always share materials with the teacher for them to teach the lesson on their own. But as the counselor, you may have access to it. You might be like, oh, I have the perfect lesson you need, but I don't have time to come in this week. Let me send it to you. So step 2, offer as needed lessons. Now, the third way that you can support and collaborate with teachers is to do some rapport building activities like self-care activities or just something fun to show teachers that we are on their side. So whether this is something during Teacher Appreciation Week, maybe you have like some staff yoga or staff mindfulness exercises or little self-care toolkits, or just something to let teachers know that we love them and we're trying to help support their social emotional well-being as well as their students. And for the last one, it's simply be there. Hang out in the lounge, be a face on campus. So often we can hide in our office, and I know I've done this before. I used to not eat lunch with the teachers. I would eat by myself in my office because, I mean, that sounds depressing, but I wanted to because it was like the 30 minutes a day I had just to focus. I was usually like working while I was eating. It was like a chance to be productive where I had some alone time. Because as you know, kids are coming in and out, you're going in and out of classrooms. But I do kind of regret that, and I wish that I sat in more with the teachers and built relationships with them. So I recommend showing face, getting in there, hanging in the lounge, all that fun stuff. All right, guys, I hope you found these 4 strategies for building rapport and supporting teachers helpful. And I would love to know about your relationship with the teachers at your campus. So send me an email or a DM. I just love to get to know you guys better and how we can collaborate to support our teachers. All right, have an awesome rest of the day. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to School Counseling Simplified. You can find the links from today's episode in the show notes. If you'd like to connect with Rachel, she's on Instagram and Teachers Pay Teachers at Bright Futures Counseling. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any episodes of School Counseling Simplified. Talk to you next week.